What's going on, IM family? This is Justin Owens. Listen, I'm excited for 2020, and not just 2020, but we're talking about beyond 2020 right now. You know, Christopher Terry, 𝗖𝗛𝗠𝗣𝗪, we appreciate everything that you all have done with this incredible platform. And I want to share something with you all that I believe can help you, not just now, but through everything when it comes to building your business. You know, we teach people all the time about not only setting goals for yourself, but especially for those of y'all that have family, to include your family in your goals. I was having a conversation with my daughter because we've always set this thing of she wants to go on this Disney cruise. So we were talking to her about grades and things that she needs to be able to accomplish, to be able to get that done. And obviously there were some things that I need to do on my end to be able to make that happen. And so I was doing a Zoom presentation, a webinar. And as soon as I got done, she came back in my office. She was like, Daddy, I got to show you something. I was like, okay, what is it? What's going on? And she said, I did it. She showed me her report card. She got all A's. The conduct was in place. And I looked at her and I paused. And her mom, she said, why don't you tell her? Why don't you tell her you can't do what you said you were supposed to be doing? Why don't you tell her you spent the money? Why don't you tell her you actually haven't been executing on the things that you were saying? And I looked at her and I was like, you know I had made this promise to you, but Daddy, I can't really afford to do this. And you know, sometimes how kids are. She was like, well, it's okay. We went to Disney World last year and you took me to SeaWorld. So she was like, Daddy, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. And she went into her room and she started playing with her dolls. And guys, when I tell you, I sunk down in my seat and I just started crying. Because I was like, man, what is going on? Like, Justin, how do you do this? And I was sitting there in the chair and I woke up. It was a nightmare. See, I'm sharing that because as much as I'm motivated by my dreams, I'm also motivated by my nightmares. See, there's certain things that you're going to have to say, look, I'm so happy and grateful now for Chairman 10. I'm so happy and grateful now for Chairman 25 and Chairman 50 and Chairman 100 and 250 and 500. But then there's parts of my life that I'm like, I'm never going back there. I'm never going to find myself in a situation like that again if there's anything that I can do. See, you got to not just be motivated by your dreams, but sometimes your nightmares as well. So I want to share with you all some things that you can do to really implement growing your business. I ask people all the time this question. Would you work your business harder if somebody was paying you to build it? So that's a good question because there's some people, they would do more work, they would have more activity if somebody was actually paying them to do it. Would you do more presentations if your job made you? Would you prospect more people if your job made you? See, I want to share something with you. We've got Zoom presentations. We've got Zoom trainings. We've got these big events. But it's not just the events. It's not just the presentations. Let me give you a key. It's your attitude towards the events that make the biggest difference. See, it's not just the events. See, if you come up to this convention that we're having virtually and you're just like, oh, it's just online. It's just like everything else. Or it's a Zoom presentation. You're like, oh, well, we always do Zoom presentations. See, it's not the ones that you see ranking up, the ones that you see building the business. It's not just a call. It is the call. It's not just the training. It is the training. Why? Because the people that are building the business the right way, they understand that their attitude towards the training, their attitude towards the presentation, their attitude towards their activity is more important than just the activity itself. You got to fix that immediately. So back to that question, would you work it harder? See, here's what I wanted to share with you all. If you work your business like a job, soon you'll find yourself not needing a job. The problem with most people is the consistency to show up like you do at your job. Why is it that you can go to work sick? Why is it that you can go to work tired? Why is it that you can do all this kind of stuff even when you don't feel like it? But when it comes to your goals, when it comes to your family, when it comes to your business, you sometimes can't seem to pull it out. And what I'm asking you to do for the rest of this year is to change your attitude towards your business. You see, you got to stay committed. You got to stay in the trenches. Well, Justin, what's the trenches? The trenches is the work. The trenches is showing the presentations. The trenches is doing the three-way calls. The trenches is not just signing up new customers. Do you all understand that signing up customers is the easiest part? I remember I used to be so excited about signing somebody up until I realized that's when the work starts. See, that's the trenches. I see some of you all out there doing outings with your teams, trenches. Building relationships, trenches. Training new customers, trenches. Chart work and trading, trenches. Practicing, trenches. Developing your skills, trenches. You can't just get in the trenches. For my leaders, you have to stay in the trenches all the time. See, these are going to be some things that are going to help you to get to the next level and not just get there, but stay there. See, one of the traps of success is a little bit. See, it's not just the success that it gets you, it's the little bit of success that can become the trap. You get to chairman 10, you get to chairman 25, and you're like, oh, I made it. No, you've got to stay running. You've got to stay in the trenches. One of my mentors, he had shared with me a story of this multi-millionaire that actually owned the island. And on the island, he had a nice hotel, and people would come there a couple times a year, and they would do this big event. And inside of the hotel, when you checked in, there was this guest log. And inside of the log, people would sign in when they got there. And one person on the guest log, what they said is, some people some days are a handful of people's every day. And I was like, man, that's so profound. Because you think about it, there's most people, not us, but most people, they spend their entire life saying, man, someday I'm going to do this. Someday I'm going to spend time with my kids. Someday I'm going to go to Disney World. Someday we're going to go on vacation. Someday I'm going to leave this job. Someday, until they wake up one day and they don't have any more days. But then there's some people, they make people some days their everyday. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, you have the opportunity to take the some days that people dream about and turn them into your everyday. You see, all of us have an older person on the inside of us that's rooting for us to do what's necessary. The older person that's rooting for us when we have the energy, when we have the strength, when we have the desire, when we have the ability to go get it done. It's not just you. It's your future kids. It's your family. If you're already in that situation, it's the future you that's coming. You got to start working now. You got to start believing now for what you want. There's no more time for doubt. There's no more time about worrying about what people think. There's no more time about worrying about the doubters. It's about you focusing on you. So what's going to be important? Your dreams, your nightmares. For some, it might be both. But no matter what's going to be important is your attitude towards everything. Your attitude towards the presentations, your attitude towards the events, your belief for the event, your belief when you open your back office that it's done, and truly believe that you can run the play to whatever goal that you have set up for yourself and for your family. So I tell people all the time, listen, I don't know your definition of success. I don't know if it's family time. I don't know if it's spiritual life. I don't know if it's just great health or having the ability to do what you want, when you want, for however long you want. But whatever your definition of success is, I encourage you all to go find it. That's because I truly believe you deserve it. Have a good.
Let's make some noise one final time for the one and only Chairman 100, Justin Owens.
And this is a marathon, not a race. And we run up to 100K. I stack the blue faces inside the